The message today is very clear, very simple. If God is truly the desire of our heart, the material circumstances of our life do not dictate our response to what's happening. But if we have not given ourselves completely over to God, then we'll be pulled left and right, up and down by the events of life. The key of the Beatitudes is the line where he says, on account of my name, or on account of Jesus, in other words. If we have dedicated ourselves to God, there's only so much that the world can do to us. Everybody knows what it feels like to be disappointed in a relationship, perhaps to be deceived, to have someone break your heart. But we also know what it's like to turn ourselves over to God and to say, even though that happened to me, that doesn't control me anymore, because I learned something through that pain, that suffering. I learned that I have to give myself first and always to God, and then to other people, knowing that they're limited. They can't give me everything. Only God can fulfill the desires of my heart. And so Jeremiah says it very strongly, that we'll be like a tree wilting and dying in a lava wasteland if we don't have our roots sunk into the essence of God, to his love. But if we do, then we can endure the hard times. The Beatitudes say it in a different way, that even though we maybe are weeping, suffering, or people are misunderstanding us or mocking us, if we're suffering through those things on account of the Lord, then he's going to give us the strength and the grace to change what seems to be a material curse or a relational difficulty into a blessing. But even if we're materially wealthy and are doing well and people speak well about us, if it's a false type of security, if it's a hollow reputation, and God isn't at the root of our life, it's going to end in woe and in suffering. Now, he doesn't say that just to be poor guarantees that you're going to be saved, or that just because you're miserable means that you're going to be happy in heaven. And on the other hand, he doesn't say that if you are rich, there's no way that you can be a holy or a good person, or that if you have friends and a good name in the world, that somehow you must be hiding something in at the bottom of your evil. He doesn't say that either. But he does caution against putting our faith or our trust in our wealth, because that can make us too independent. We can be filled with pride, thinking that those gifts come from ourselves, and they don't. They're all gifts from God. Or maybe somebody who's not doing well, they're poor, and people don't like them. They can take consolation at night and they can say, well, that just proves that I must be saved because I'm suffering right now. No, it doesn't. We have to own up to our own mistakes in the path in our life, the choices we've made. If that's what's led us into difficulties, then just being in that state isn't going to save us. We have to live a life of virtue. But these gospel readings, the reading of Jeremiah and the gospel especially, they force us to look into our heart today and tonight to examine what's going on there. Why am I sometimes very happy or very sad? Is it for the right reason? Or is it a hollow type of happiness? And is it a juvenile type of sadness? If God is at the root of our heart, the world will not shake us. The world will not shake us. Yes, we'll have temptations, we'll have passing thoughts, we'll have, sentiments and passions. But they'll go pretty quickly. If you find that you're suffering over and over again in extreme ways, maybe it's time to let go of something. It's time to let go of what's keeping you away from going that extra step and totally surrendering to God. Totally surrendering to God makes us free. And then we can go back into our families and our schools and relationships and work with a new freedom. I'm not going to be that much pulled by what people say or how they treat me, because God is the one who loves me. Our life will change. Well, today we ask for that freedom, that renewal of spirit, that we'll see what really is going on in our heart and be freed from anything that keeps us from the Lord, so that our suffering and our successes will be done on account of His name.